Forget everything you've heard about print on demand. You don't need 500 designs. You don't need to spend thousands of dollars on inventory. And you definitely don't need to become a professional graphic designer. But there's one thing you do need is people who actually want what you're selling. Because here's the problem with most print-on-demand businesses. Someone opens Canva, creates a random t-shirt design, uploads it to a store, and waits for the money to come in. Nothing happens. So they upload another 50 designs. Still nothing. The problem isn't print on demand. The problem is that they're creating products without first creating demand. In this video, I'll show you how to build a print-on-demand business around a specific audience, create products that audience actually wants, and turn those products into a business that can generate consistent sales. The first thing you need to do is choose a specific niche. This is important because trying to sell to everybody usually means your products connect deeply with nobody. A niche gives you a specific audience to understand and create products for. For example, instead of simply targeting people who like funny t-shirts, you could target nurses who enjoy medical humor. Instead of targeting everyone who likes pets, you could focus on golden retriever owners. You could target teachers, gamers, gym enthusiasts, gardeners, travelers, photographers, mechanics, or people interested in a particular hobby. The advantage of these audiences is that they already have interests and identities that can be represented through products. When someone sees a shirt that perfectly describes something about their profession, hobby, lifestyle, or personality, the product becomes more than just clothing. It becomes a way for them to express themselves. However, you also need to make sure there is enough demand in the niche. A niche can be specific without being so small that there are hardly any potential customers. Look at existing marketplaces and social platforms to see whether people are already buying, discussing, and engaging with products related to the niche. You want to find a balance between being specific enough to stand out and large enough to support a business. You should also think about whether the niche gives you room to create multiple products. If you can only think of one design, it may not be a strong business niche. A good niche should give you dozens of potential ideas that you can develop over time. After choosing a niche, the next step is research. This is where you move away from guessing and start looking for evidence of demand. One of the easiest places to start is with existing marketplaces. Search for your niche on platforms such as Etsy, Amazon, Redbubble, and other print-on-demand websites. Look at products that are receiving attention, reviews, and sales. Pay attention to the language customers use. What phrases appear repeatedly? What types of jokes are popular? What problems or experiences do people in the niche relate to? What kinds of products are people already purchasing? Customer reviews can be particularly useful because they tell you what buyers actually think about existing products. You might discover that customers love a particular style, but complain about poor quality, uncomfortable clothing, bad sizing, or limited product options. That information can help you create a better offer. You can also use social media for research. Search your niche on TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, Reddit, and YouTube, and look at the content people engage with. The objective isn't to copy somebody else's successful design. Instead, you're trying to identify patterns. For example, you might discover that teachers constantly share jokes about grading papers. You might find that gym enthusiasts respond strongly to motivational phrases or relatable workout humor. You might discover that dog owners love content describing their pets as members of the family. These observations can become starting points for original product ideas. You can also use tools such as Google Trends and keyword research platforms to understand whether people are actively searching for certain topics. The more research you conduct before creating your products, the less you're relying on luck. Once you've researched your audience, you can begin creating your designs. The goal isn't necessarily to create the most complicated artwork possible. In print-on-demand, a simple design with the right message can outperform a highly detailed design that nobody understands. Your design should give the target customer a reason to say, "That's me." This could come through humor, identity, passion, lifestyle, profession, or a shared experience. Typography-based designs can work extremely well because they communicate a message quickly. Simple illustrations can also work when they're combined with a strong concept. You can use design tools such as Canva and AI tools to brainstorm concepts, generate ideas, explore different layouts, and create variations. However, you shouldn't use AI to generate hundreds of generic designs and upload them without thinking about the customer. Your research should guide the creative process. For example, if you've chosen nurses as your audience, you can develop a collection around different experiences nurses have, rather than making one random nurse-related shirt. You might create designs around night shifts, coffee, medical humor, difficult patients, long working hours, or the pride associated with the profession. This creates a collection that feels intentional. You also need to be careful with intellectual property. Don't use copyrighted characters, company logos, sports team branding, or protected slogans simply because they're popular. A product may sell, but that doesn't mean you're legally allowed to use the design. Your goal is to build an asset that can continue generating revenue, not something that gets removed after a few weeks. Your next job is creating a store that makes customers comfortable enough to buy. Whether you sell through an existing marketplace or create your own e-commerce store, presentation matters. Start with your product images. Customers can't physically touch a print-on-demand product before purchasing, so your mock-ups need to give them a clear idea of what they're buying. Use clean, realistic images that show the product from useful angles and, when possible, show it being used in a relevant environment. Your product titles should clearly explain what you're selling and who it's intended for. Your descriptions should provide useful information about the product, including its materials, sizing, fit, care instructions, and shipping expectations. Your store should also feel consistent. If every product looks like it came from a completely different business, customers may have difficulty trusting the store. Consistent branding, product presentation, descriptions, and imagery can make the business feel much more professional. Remember that customers aren't simply buying fabric with ink printed on it. They're buying the identity or emotion associated with the product. Your store needs to communicate that value. Once your products are ready, you need traffic. You can have excellent designs and a beautiful store, but if nobody sees your products, you won't make sales. There are several ways to generate traffic, and you don't necessarily need a large advertising budget to begin. Organic content can be a strong starting point. Platforms such as TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest, and YouTube allow you to create content around the same niche you're selling to. For example, if you're selling products for gym enthusiasts, you could create motivational content, funny gym-related videos, relatable posts, workout tips, or content about common gym experiences. Your content doesn't need to constantly tell people to buy your products. Instead, build attention around the audience and the interests that your products serve. When people connect with your content, you can naturally introduce your products as part of the brand. You can also use marketplace SEO so that your products have a better chance of appearing when potential customers search for relevant terms. Paid advertising is another option, but it should be approached carefully. Advertising won't automatically make a bad product profitable. If people don't want the product, spending more money simply means losing money faster. It's usually smarter to understand which products receive organic interest before investing heavily in advertising. Building a print-on-demand business that actually sells isn't about uploading as many designs as possible and hoping something goes viral. It's about understanding a specific audience and creating products that audience genuinely wants. Choose a niche with demand. Research what people are already interested in. Turn those insights into original designs. Choose products that make sense for your audience. Build a professional store. Bring targeted traffic to your products and pay attention to what actually generates sales. You don't need to start with hundreds of products. Start with a specific audience, a small collection of strong ideas, and a willingness to improve based on what the market tells you. Because ultimately, the businesses that succeed in print-on-demand aren't necessarily the ones with the most designs. They're the ones that understand their customers the best. If you're ready to start, choose your niche today, research your audience, and create your first few products. Then let the market tell you what deserves to come next. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel for more practical online business strategies, and leave a comment telling me which print-on-demand niche you're planning to enter.